Welcome to Stanford Medcast, the podcast from Stanford CME that brings you the latest insights from the world's leading physicians and scientists. I am your host, Dr. Ruth Adewuya. Today's episode is a little different. This is our Season 5 recap, a season of 21 powerful episodes filled with cutting-edge science, transformative breakthroughs, and the deeply human stories that remind us why we do what we do. It's been a privilege to have conversations with some of the brightest minds in medicine, people who are redefining what's possible in healthcare. From AI to perinatal mental health, from climate change to precision therapeutics, we've covered a lot this season. So whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been with us all along, join me as we revisit the key themes that resonated throughout these conversations. The rapid rise of technology in care delivery, the urgent need for more personalized and equitable care, and the unwavering commitment to patients at the center of it all. Let's dive in. This season reminded us that medicine never stands still. Across specialties, our guests echoed a common vision: care that is more precise, more connected, and more accessible. One of the most striking through lines was how innovation and technology are reshaping medicine, not just incrementally, but profoundly. Dr. Maya Adam, who directs health media innovation at Stanford, talked about the power and the peril of digital platforms. She compared them to a hammer, a tool that can build or harm depending on how we wield it. She shared how her team uses animated storytelling on platforms like YouTube to make complex health topics more relatable and accessible to global audiences. That's the potential of technology when it's used with intention. Dr. Walter Greenleaf, pioneer in digital health, builds on this idea with his work in virtual and extended reality. These tools are now used in clinical settings for PTSD, anxiety, even chronic pain, offering immersive environments that influence brain function and promote adherence. In oncology, Dr. Natalie Louie shared how AI is transforming lung cancer screening, detecting nodules and assessing risk more precisely than ever. But it doesn't stop there. As she explained, AI can also help prioritize patients at highest risk, guiding follow-up and improving care pathways. Dr. Sanjeev Narayan is using computational models and AI to predict arrhythmia outcomes and guide treatment. He emphasized how wearable devices like smartwatches are becoming powerful tools for early detection of irregular rhythms, encouraging patients to seek care before symptoms escalate. Dr. Daldrup Link brought us back to imaging, sharing her breakthrough work in pediatric oncology using iron oxide nanoparticles. These allow for high-resolution scans without radiation exposure, opening new possibilities in both diagnostics and treatment. But it wasn't just about innovation. It was also about personalization. Drs. Fauzia Riaz and Jean Bao talked about the evolution of breast cancer care, how molecular profiling can now inform decisions about chemotherapy. In some cases, patients can avoid it entirely. In pediatric epilepsy, Dr. Juliet Knowles spoke about maladaptive myelination and how we're entering a genomic era, one where epigenetic shifts might soon guide personalized care before seizures even begin. These aren't marginal improvements. This is a paradigm shift. From AI to gene editing, we're seeing medicine evolve into something deeply personalized, targeted, and preventative. It's science at its most human. But amid all of this progress, our guests also didn't shy away from hard truths. Many reminded us that innovation without equity leaves people behind. Across nearly every episode, we saw that health equity isn't a side issue, it's the issue. Dr. Zakia Rahman revealed how dermatology training often overlooks richly pigmented skin. The result? Delayed diagnoses, higher mortality rate for melanoma, and gaps in care. She's advocating for more diverse clinical images, better training, and equitable application of new technologies like lasers. In cardiology, Dr. Kevin Alexander highlighted how transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis disproportionately affects African Americans. Genetics play a role, but so do structural barriers. And he's leading efforts for earlier community-based screening and trust building in underserved populations. In pediatric oncology, Dr. Melody Smith and Dr. Crystal Maycall spoke candidly about the lack of incentives for developing drugs for rare pediatric cancers. As Dr. Maycall asked, how do we build models that center need and not just profit? Dr. Catherine Bianco underscored how racial disparities in maternal health result in life or death consequences. Bias, access gaps, and underrepresentation in research all contribute to persistent inequities. And in lung cancer care, we heard that only 16% of eligible Californians are screened, due in part to narrow criteria, lack of trial diversity, and systemic barriers like transportation and insurance. So what do we do? Our guests pointed to many paths forward: telehealth, diversifying the healthcare workforce, policy reform, and paid family leave. As they reminded us, innovation should never widen the gap, it should close it. Dr. Lisa Patel framed climate change as a health equity issue, highlighting how wildfire smoke, extreme heat, and poor environmental conditions increase risks of asthma, dehydration, and even preterm birth. She called for a social determinants of health approach that includes upstream solutions from air quality to housing to protect children's health. These stories make it clear that achieving health equity isn't one intervention. It's an ongoing effort, clinical, cultural, and systemic. Let's take a closer look at some of the most exciting breakthroughs this season. Dr. Melody Smith is advancing CAR T-cell therapy to target more cancers, including solid tumors. Her lab is also exploring how the gut microbiome affects outcomes, revealing that even pre-treatment antibiotics can increase neurotoxicity. Dr. Crystal Maycall showed us how GD2 CARs are showing promise in pediatric brain tumors, a field that's long lacked effective treatments. The nanoparticles that Dr. Daldrip Link spoke about are not just diagnostic, they're theranostic, targeting tumors and delivering medication with extraordinary precision. And Dr. Louie emphasized how low-dose CT scans are transforming lung cancer screening, and how AI and blood-based tests could expand access even further. Drs. Narayan and Wang explained how wearables and pulse field ablation are improving arrhythmia treatment. Meanwhile, Dr. Alexander's work on non-invasive testing and gene editing could offer curative solutions for cardiac amyloidosis. Dr. Walter Greenleaf shared how VR is helping patients with PTSD and addiction recovery using future self-avatars to encourage behavior change and adherence. Both Dr. Riaz and Dr. Bao emphasized the importance of tailoring treatment plans to each patient's stage of life, preferences, and logistical needs, highlighting the broader challenges young patients may face when navigating newly diagnosed cancer. And in dermatology, Dr. Rahman reframed the field as one of vitality, not vanity, emphasizing lifelong skin health and the importance of sun protection and retinoids across the lifespan. But it's not just about the technology or treatment, it's about people. Dr. Celeste Poe reminded us that the NICU families face not only fragile health outcomes, but also trauma and emotional overload, and called for structural supports like mental health services and more inclusive family accommodations. She also called out the invisibility fathers and partners often feel, and the need for inclusive trauma-informed perinatal systems. Claire Kirikos, Stanford's Chief Advanced Practice Officer, shared how APPs are improving access and leading care teams, while also navigating burnout and workforce shortages. Her leadership is helping shape a sustainable, digitally literate workforce. Deidre Genesee, who's the Stanford's Director of Clinical Nutrition, called attention to changes in dietitian credentialing that could worsen access just as demand is rising. Her team is advocating for recognition and support of this critical role in patient care. Elizabeth Oyukon, Chief Pharmacy Officer for Stanford Healthcare, shared a leadership framework grounded in purpose, accountability, and humanity. Her message is that you don't need a title to lead, but you do need courage, clarity, and the willingness to raise your hand. So what's next? Our guests offered glimpses of an integrated, data-driven, team-based future. Dr. Sanjeev Narayan spoke about viewing disease not as isolated conditions, but as complex syndromes across systems, powered by continuous data and interdisciplinary collaboration. Dr. Lisa Patel left us hopeful for a new generation of clinicians, one fluent in health, climate, equity, and systems change. Others urged us to stay curious, try the technology, read the literature, and follow our passions, because curiosity is where real change begins. And at the center of it all, the patient, their voice, their values, their vision. Whether it's parents reclaiming agency in the NICU, young adults navigating fertility decisions, or individuals living with chronic illness, our conversations this season reinforce that medicine is a partnership, one where innovation must serve humanity. Our experts reminded us that clinicians are not just caregivers. We are advocates for climate-conscious policies, for underrepresented voices, for reimagining systems that too often fall short. So as we move forward, let's do so with intention, with integrity, and with a shared commitment to bold innovation, deep compassion, and equitable care for all. Thank you for joining me for the season recap of Stanford Medcast. This season has been a testament to the power of curiosity, collaboration, and shared knowledge. To our incredible guests, thank you. And to our listeners, thank you for being a part of this journey. Subscribe to Stanford Medcast wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you next season with more stories, science, and the voices shaping the future of medicine.